if they have anything to that they noticed.
Yeah. So I have several like things that I noticed that is related to quite a lot of homeworks, and I want to show you several examples like what can be improved. So first of all, I've noticed that it's very common pattern for you to write. Let me clean my board.
You can use it. That whiteboard. Let's clean it.
Oh, okay.
Do you think it's working?
It is.
Do you think it's working?
It is.
And do you think your sound is being recorded as well?
It is.
Okay.
It's doing great. I think it's great.
It's just a bit useless because like it's equivalent to if x, and no, but it's like completely the same things, and there is no need to write like x equal to true.
Yeah, because the first condition is already.
Yeah, because like true is a true-ish condition.
Yeah.
That's why there is no need to do this. Also, if you want to catch the cases when something is not true, you can do like this. If yes, not x. It would be so good. Can you read this because my handwriting is like terrible. That's one of those like minor things. Another thing is like please indent your code. I mean that there is a lot of ways how to structure your code, and I even prepared like scary example how not to do this, but I need to like take my laptop to show it. But there is a hotkeys for Visual Studio that would indent these things for you. So it's like just one press of button and everything would be nice. Please do this because it would increase readability of your code for reviewers and like in future for your colleagues. And to be honest, for yourselves, even when you return back to your code base in a month. Probably the third thing I would like to tell you about the functions. Previous section was related, like part of it was related to functions and what it is and how they are used. And I noticed that it's quite often used something like this. Function, blah, blah, blah. And there is console log here with the result of the function. So definitely that works. But idea of function is that you take something as input and provide the result as an output. So this return syntax construct. And that's why if you are returning values, you can print it later in one line. So you like call console log, return and like call function, and then print result. And then you can compose functions. So you can call one function from another function and combine results. Let's imagine our first homework is like to create function that generates like full name of the person. If you remember, it's like first name, last name, and use formal form. Imagine that we want to build function that generates invitation letter. Like, dear blah blah blah, we want to invite you to like our party. So we can imagine this as like we create two functions. One is to create formal name, or not just a name. Another function is to create a letter. Of course, we can do like second function that creates a letter, like dear plus for call function that forms full name plus like rest of the letter. If it would be done like if the function that generates full name would just do console logs, we want to get this result from it. So we cannot reuse it as a kind of brick that forms our full like solution as a like moving part. So that's why the idea of function is like you know, like since we're all of us are in Denmark, it's a like piece of Lego. So we have something as input, have something as output, and we can combine them to build something larger. And with console logs, there is no output from the function. So you cannot reuse it in other places. Oh, sorry, I told you. Complicated. Confusion than it really is. But
So better just have a function and then.
yeah, the idea is that you like you need to split your whole problem into functions which are simple and then combine them to the larger solution. And if you are just console logging result from function, you cannot combine them because like it would just go, these console logs would literally go to nowhere.
So we have create two functions and then put one like callback function.
No, it's not about callbacks. It's about just returning values from function. So not missing these mechanisms and like not abusing console log. Are there any questions regarding that? Because it looks like.
I'm just typing what you said.
No, to be honest, it's we say it's easy, we're lying, but we're kind of numb, so that's why we don't ask so much.
Yeah, I think that HR is going to show you.
Yeah, this was it, right? Am I mistyping stuff? Something like that, right? I'm getting a lot of warnings, but I'm not sure why. That's it, right?
Yeah, it's the example of this kind.
Yeah.
So if you so when you are like, imagine that you would console log first name plus last name. This thing instead of return, it would be console log. Overall, it works properly because you are really getting full name and showing it. But the question is that this function would be useless if you want to like to do this serious full name on the basis of that. Because if you could maybe run this example and let's see.
Is it like this? How do I run it? Oh. Hey, yeah, class, how do I run?
Go live.
Go live here?
Go live.
Sweet. Thank you. Well, that's
You should go live when you're on the HTML page.
you are right. Let's do the other way around. And
Connect to the HTML.
Like control.
You cannot go live on JavaScript or
Yeah.
CSS.
you're right. Ooh-wee. Do this stuff.
So as we can see, the result with console log is Mr. Undefined. And it's definitely not what we want. And if we replace this console log to return, it would give us Mr.
Can you make it bigger?
Yes.
Like I cannot see.
Come on, make it big. Okay, control plus.
Oh, there you go.
So like
That's what your
If-
function will should return undefined if you're not returning.
so that's why instead of like having like serious full name Mr. like, BSSA.
Very serious.
We have Mr. Undefined. And it's because this console log.
Yeah.
And if we would have return here, we can compose like this part of job, like adding Mr. and like this full name. Kind of like this.
Yeah, and this is actually quite important because you can use there's no point in writing. So the whole reason why I write a function is that you want to avoid repetitive code. But then if your functions does not return anything, then you have to rewrite the function every time. So yeah, and this, yeah, it just won't work. Yeah.
The same thing happens with which one was it? The class homework, where it was like, if the class already had 6 people, then you cannot add anybody else. And you also have the functions you have to do, which says how large the class is. And then you can use that function to check if the class size is already 6, then you cannot add it anymore to anybody else, not to try it twice. You know, for the point, right, the exercise to realize that you can use it again. So that function that returns the actual length of the class or the length of the array, which is the size of the class. You can check that. So if size of class is already 6, then you can add something.
No questions?
Yes, please.
That example, so using the full name, say that it's good practice to use the return statement.
Yes.
What if I have some conditions, like one for returning the full name and another one?
The
There is another mechanism in JavaScript called exceptions. There is special mechanism that you can make JavaScript to kind of to throw the error, and then in other places it's allowed to catch it. In kind of overall, if you are debugging something and playing, it's okay to console also. Again, since this mechanism wasn't explained yet, it's okay to just print it.
Because I have one more topic.
please.
You have time?
Yeah, do it.
It was the same exercise with the class. I can write on this, right?
Yeah.
It was that there were like 4 conditions, right? So if a student was added, but the class had already more than 6 students, right? So the class size, I just write it like this, and you didn't write it like this. But if it's 6, then you cannot add anyone, right? One more thing was that the student cannot be added twice, so student only once. Right, and what else was there?
Only queen can.
If it's a queen, then she gets added no matter what, right? Even if there's 6 people, so the queen always gets added. And also, it has to be a non-empty string, right? Yeah.
Is there a marker with another color?
Yeah, I asked if you can actually read this.
You have it black on that side.
Oh, yeah.
It's like saying yes.
Is it better like this? No.
It's always fun with markers.
We are teaching with
And also the student has to be a non-empty string, right? So student is not an empty string. So if the question is that we have the function, right? Of add student, blah blah blah, and the student name. I just abbreviate like this. And then the question is, how do we order these ifs? And what do you guys think? What is the most important one? Which one should be the one that's like we check first? It applies to every case. Yeah, exactly. Because if the student is empty, then we know it's not the queen. And we know that we cannot end it anyway. So that's the first thing that we have to check. So if
Does it change anything if you put it in a different order?
does it, let's see. So let's say we just write this like in this way. If student name is not an empty string, right? Just like
Yeah, I also think that's a permanent marker, by the way.
yeah.
Is it?
Is it easier to read like this? Can you read it? Actually? Yes. Should I move this?
Christopher, is that a permanent marker? Is it permanent?
No, no, no. Jesus. Return some message, right? That hey, you did something wrong, like, I don't know, incorrect.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what's next? So we have this. What's the next most important one?
The student
Well,
already
it's-
in the class.
Which one?
The student is already in the class.
Yeah, exactly, right. And why should we put this in front of this?
I don't know, I guess it can be like number 6, so we can add few students.
Yeah, but we said that one thing that we said was that the queen is always gets added, but every student can only get added once. So even if the queen is already in there, she can get added again. So this is the second most important one. So else if a student is already in students. Yeah, exactly. Then again returns a message. Okay, it's not it's incorrect. You know, you already added her or them, and then which is the next one? Is it the length? Because if you check the length and we just say that it's too big, you just throw it out, then the queen never gets added, right? So it's the queen, right? The queen is the second most important. So then else, I cannot write, sorry. I'm trying to hurry up. Else if queen, I just write it like this, of course, you guys have to do it differently. Then anyways, she gets added, so you add her and return it probably, return the array. And then what's next? This one, right? If the class is already 6 people and we know it's not the incorrect person, they're not in the students array yet, and have the queen, and it's already full, then sorry, people get added. So and if the student is more than 6, then again a message. We get this return some message, and then else. So if nothing of this happened, so it's a valid student. They're not in the array yet. It's not the queen, but they still space. Then just add them. Yeah. Add student, then just return the array or whatever. Yeah, and what you asked was that does it even matter, right? Let's say we put the queen at the top. That means that you can add like an array, a class of 11 queens for the same person, right? Which is not what we want. What if you put this one lower down? Like let's see, put it like here before this check. That means that we can add an empty string 6 times, even though that should be the most important thing, right? If you never add empty strings. So this is something that's actually I think very important, and you will do a lot. We actually have something that actually are working, just to have these conditions and just in your mind see what is the priority of them. So we know that this is the most important one. Then this applies to all students. This applies to only the queen. And this applies to everyone but the queen, right? So it would be like this is for all people. This is order for all people. This is just for the queen. And this is for everyone who's not the queen. So like this. And then you order it in your head of which is the most important thing. This is how you actually write it. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
I just wanted to, talk about this. Sorry for waiting.
It's perfect because you touched on what I'm supposed
I
to.
face this problem, what you just said. So
Mhm.
then I realized it.
And one more thing is that see, and here, if you just look at this part, you say, well, these two are just apply to the same people, so the order doesn't matter, right? I mean, who cares? But if you put this one in front of this one like this, so this, so we check for if they are inside first, and then after that we check if they are an empty string, right? Then we might end up in a way that we actually add the empty string first, and then we just don't let it get added because it's already in there. But that's what we want. You know that this should never happen. So this should be the first, and then this applies to everyone. So put that in front of the queen. This applies to the queen only, then we put that, and this applies to everyone who's not a queen. So we put that in the bottom. So, yeah. This is something you will do often, just like order in your head of what's more important.
No, don't delete it.
Okay.
Can I ask
Yes.
a question, but not about this exercise, about exercise with the weather. So like if the weather, is,
Yeah.
So I would like to validate it for the number.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna get a problem because for example, think it can be like a plus 15 or just 15 or just if it's
Minus 15.
yeah,
Or
yeah.
15.5.
If I'm checking for the number,
Yeah.
doesn't matter if it's before
Negative
the
or
character, yeah, plus or minus, it means like it's not a number.
Yeah.
So
Pretty
how
sure
I
that-
can I have found some regular expression like if it's plus or there before
Yeah.
there, but I'm not sure
how I can check it.
I mean, yeah, so you have the function, I don't know, I just write it there, right?
You can,
Whatever. Just- So you have the function of the weather. You have some number, right, that you think, so just, no, not just, no, you don't call it like this, you call it, I don't know, temperature, select temp. And in here, what you ideally want, right, is this temperature is definitely a number, not like a string containing a number, or not like, I don't know, written down like 25 as a string. You just want it to be a number. And I'm pretty sure that if you write if, is it like type of or something?
Yeah.
Type of temp. Is it like you can, is how you do it, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then number is just, you can write it like this, and that's the type. Then you just like sorry, and you return a string of hey, this is incorrect.
But in this case, if I give like arguments like
Yeah.
plus,
So
yeah, so it's the
exactly, that's a good question. In this case, if you write something like 18, it works.
Yeah.
If you write it minus 18, still works. If you write minus 18.8, should still work. I mean, if I think it definitely works. 20.2, it also works. But as soon as you write something like this, so like string 18, it doesn't work.
But if it will be plus 18.
Does it work? If you write like this, plus 18,
Yeah, so yeah, it's very
could be, but I think it's the thing is that
just
you can just try to make a variable and give it a value of
so
plus
that's why I
18.
was confused because if it's plus or minus before the number, so it doesn't work. It means like it's not a number.
Could be, and that could be a thing.
So that's why I thought maybe I have to check it for the like a regular expression if it's plus
Yeah,
or
yeah.
minus before.
I think the actual JavaScript gives a error, not no, if you put plus 18.
Why should we use plus?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but
yeah,
somebody maybe it's
yeah, but I see what you mean. But I think in some languages it doesn't give an error, right? You can just press plus 18 and it's just the same thing as 18. Let me check it as well. I don't know how to check it.
it might be because it's.
Number should be in single quote. Type of return string.
Sorry, what?
Type of return string, so number should be in single quotes.
Yes. I love doing class like this. Like I haven't done anything yet. It's perfect. Okay, so first one, that's also wrong. And, I should have had a function here. Yeah.
If I write type of and plus 18, just a number. I think it does work.
It's not a number. So if it is a number, then it should write plus number. So it's not a number. But I think it's
Weather and temp.
oh. Busted. But it's also because I put the plus here, so this is actually syntax. So that would
We
be
can say
a number.
with certainty now is that if you have the function like this, sorry, I wrote it wrong. So you have type of temperature not equal to not like this. It's actually a string. So like this and number like that, then return incorrect, right? If you write it like this, then all of these except this one works. But you can write plus 18 in the parentheses, this, and this. All of these work.
But it can also convert this to internal.
Yeah, if you wanted to actually have tolerance for that, then you would have to do
It's not a number.
like as JavaScript has logic to do that. Like you get a string that has something like this. Then there is probably some method, and I think like number.cast or something. I'm not sure. Number from string or something. I'm not sure. If you put this in it, then it gives you the actual value. But then if it's not that like that, so if you have like ABC, then I think it throws an exception or something. You don't have to know about that yet. But yeah, it's perfectly fine if you just restrict that this function should only get a temperature, a number value, and then all of these work except for something like this. Or of course, if you put like true, still doesn't work. But yeah. We can check it out.
Yeah, but we can.
Yeah, maybe in the break you can check it out.
You're gonna be very surprised because now I have a question for you. I love the fact that I haven't had to do anything right now, and you learned a lot of things. I hope. Did you learn anything? And I wanted to follow the Notion thing, and then there's like 27 minutes of recording. If I follow the Notion things, you will have the 27 is actually not 27, it's about 40 minutes because there's exercises. And then there's 33 minutes here and some other stuff. If we do this way with the recording, then I lazy out and I don't mind that, but you probably already know half the stuff in the recording. So it might be a bit of a waste of your time. If we do it, me trying to explain stuff, all of us together, then I think you will learn a bit more and it might take a bit less. It's not really a democratic thing because I think it's an obvious win, but all right. And the last part. We do have Oreo double cream.
That just brought smiles to our face.
I noticed it's crazy. Like I don't care about programming here. It's all right. What is an array? I'm gonna ask a lot of questions. I'm too lazy for this. You kind of volunteered, but yeah, I'm fine with you reading. I'm like complete. That's why it's over there. Yeah, but you'll have to read everything, so it's easier if you just like come up with some random stuff. What is an array?
It's an object where we can order items.
Yeah, that's a good enough thing. All right, so you already know this because you already work with it, all of you, I'm sure. You can have strings, you can have numbers, you can have all of these, but sometimes you need a bit more like, hey, what are the students of this class? You can add the queen. Oh yeah, the first lesson from there is actually not the code, is that you see, if it's the queen, she gets to come in, but if it's the king, he has to stay out. We know who the boss is. I like this exercise. So an array will help us go through more data at one time. Later on, we'll actually talk about objects because sometimes, you know, it's a good thing that we know the name of all the students in the class, but we might want to know more about them, like age, like interest and stuff. An array will always, the index of an array will always start at 0. This is important when you want to go through an array because while if you have numbers as humans, we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6th number is actually the 5th one.
7.
No, yeah, the 5th number is 6. There you go, thanks. I didn't mean to, but that was pretty good. The best thing that this helps us with right now is actually you can, you know what length is, and you can measure the length of an array. This comes in practice a lot of time when you need to work with data from the database, as you checked if it's a number before. This way is you would check if you actually have a response. If the length of your array is, you know, 0, then you don't have a response, which will be interesting in practice. Okay. More text. Imagine that you need to keep a track of all the names of your friends. That's easy for me. I have no friends. You can use a string, but that won't be optimal because a string can have, you know, all the names will be one thing. So how would you be able to tell the difference? You can easily do this. This is something that you could do with a string. const friends. Yeah, I don't know how to type because I just said it. So imaginary friend called John and Joe and Joshua. What? Raman? No, because you don't start with J. There's a, I have a, yeah. And if you want to go through this, it's actually going to be a hell, quite difficult because like I split them with spaces, but I put a space at the beginning. Then like, okay, then yeah, it's going to be very difficult. But if I wasn't an asshole and I just wrote, as normal people would, like this, and something like that, then this is easier to go through and more readable and whatever. Code is complaining because I said it's a constant and I'm typing several constants. Does any of you remember how you defined an empty array to begin with? For example, an empty string would be this.
Square bracket.
Const array equals something like that. No, square. Tell you I know nothing. That's awesome. There's other ways of doing it. We'll reach out there, but this is what it's best to know, because this is the easiest way. You can define it with square brackets. You can define it as new array. There's no major difference, nothing that is valid that matters right now. This is called the constructor way, where you basically tell the code that, build me an array. And this is the normal people way, that is, yeah, it's an array. How to access stuff into the array? How do you access an element inside an array? I know it's written there. Human.
Like the name of the array and then also square brackets and the number of the elements, but counting from 0. And then we
Yeah.
can do the dot.
Bingo. So this will be the first one, and yeah, this will be the rest. I don't think I should go on this one, but there's a funny thing, like you just said, like you could do with a dot. Actually, maybe I should wait a bit, like not get myself too far. Yeah. So you would get undefined if I'm going to try to console log this array number 12, because it doesn't exist. And we all know this. Yeah, I put a dot. Is equal. What am I supposed to write here? No, this thing, right? And it's undefined. It basically tells me that it's undefined. Yeah. Do you guys mind if I just, if you go like slightly faster, and please stop me every time? Because you've used push, right? And you've used pop. Sorry.
Yeah.
I just want to know if you're paying attention. So I don't have a number 12. How can I want to add a number 12 in this array? Array dot push. It's not going to work, but something happened. Yeah. And now if I'm going to print array, I have a random number 12. I want to push this number on the position 12. So what have I done, which is not really correct? Yes. I could do that, yeah.
Can you do another array?
Equals empty, like that, right? And what do you want me to do with it? Yeah.
Shift and until they change at the start and build and
And I'll put 11 here.
Yeah.
Um,
One single quote, just like.
I I also don't know how to type.
Why it's undefined.
Okay, it is undefined because it's
We
trying to.
don't have it.
Yeah, it's empty, right?
Is that right?
Like you push the number 12, but that's the first element in the array. That's why the number 1 appear is.
But when you start on zero, you should have done like 0 as 1. And then it's, be 1.
That's a good question.
Which one?
The question was that I don't understand what I want to do. So I
So we want to push it to something. in control.
oh actually I just want to play with them. So shift array and JavaScript. If I have an array of 3 elements and I shift one element, it will take the first element. And our array was empty. And I was telling it, take the first element of the array. So I did actually 2 things that might have not been good. First of all, there was nothing there, so he couldn't take the first element. And second of all, I gave it an element to take out, which is me writing.
The first letter.
Yeah, but nothing. It had nothing inside it. It was an empty array, and it took the first thing, and then just go like, it's undefined. I have nothing left now.
So was it take? It's like it's deleted.
It will delete it. I mean, the array right now is it's missing the first element.
So that we can add the function.
That would be good. On shift. So unshift will add whatever we wanted at the beginning of the array and return the new array.
The length.
Yes. So let's go to that thing.
So you can actually put something on the place without that.
Yeah.
It's not a good practice.
It's horrible practice, but let's do it. So array on shift on shift. Oh, come on, on shift 11. So it gives me the length. Now our array has a length of 1, and it has the element 11 in it. So we've actually kind of done what we wanted to, but I actually wanted to put something there on the position 11. So right now this number 11 is on position 0. Bingo.
And then why is the 1 there?
I think it's also one aspect
That's right. So if you want to-
This is how I drive this.
But I think it's not required to do it.
It's really good.
The operator,
Yes.
make the brackets instead of unshift.
Yes. Like here, right?
Yeah. and then the button, close it, and then- Not unshift, that's just the equal.
Yeah. Before I click, what do you guys think?
You can put something there, but that's not very wise to do it, because then, in my opinion, the ratio should be pushed. Have something in the.
We have an array of 12 elements with the first element called 11, then empty 10 elements, and then a 12th one. Sweet. Wow. So we've yeah. But what will happen right now if I click unshift and yeah. Let's say 13 because I'm horrible of these. So what happens now?
It will add
Give you one.
one more than at the 0 position, so like all the position will shift.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Let's see.
So no, the answer is 13 is the length. It's telling me exactly how many elements I have. It just happens. Yeah, so we got like a 13th element, a 13 value added at the beginning of it.
I'm sorry, you just did another array on shift 12 and it gave you 1.
Yes,
And you did 13 and
it's a random number. Let me correct myself. And instead of using numbers because it's confusing, let's do this. That's my favorite quote from.
So the number returned from the function is the length of the.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the highest index plus 1 for the unshift.
All right. Now a short exercise. We have another array. We have 14 elements in it. I would like to find out the 5th element, position 5. Like this is easy, right? Let's square brackets and then I type a number 5. Easy, right? It's undefined. Makes sense because it's empty because I fucked up. And to add something to that position, I could do this. Something very smart. I need something smart. Hey, dude. Wait. Yeah. And now if I check it again, it's there and blah blah. If I do the other things. Pop. Another array. Not pop. What do I do now? What does the function do?
You are taking one out at the end.
Mhm. Yeah. So this will take out one element at the end. And it happens to be the 12th one here. What happens if I do this? No, because it goes at the end of the array. It wants that one, and now it's think that's a whole array.
You can decide where it should be. So
No.
now you're trying to
I would.
remove a function from our array, but it's actually a statement function.
Yeah. Okay, you're actually also absolutely right. Yeah. So it wouldn't work anyways. All right. We're gonna come back to this, and my intention was to semi-confuse you and get you to see that this adds, this takes, this adds, and this takes.
I think one thing to note is that if you're doing the pop, it will actually mutate the array, so it will change the data.
Yes.
It will return the object that is.
Yes.
Right now, we have the code. String code is actually can be some box.
Yes. So if I do array dot pop, no, let's do push dot push because I want to push, and I add. Actually, yeah, I think that should be fine. Now I have 2 elements. It's giving me the value, and my new array has 2 elements. If I pop it, then
Run the function.
Yes, you are absolutely right. Okay, and now it took the element. So the new array, I now have my old array has been changed. It's fermented. Yeah. So if I want to find out the length of it. I was wondering why. So the length is 1 because I only have this one element left. 9.
So it's 12.
Oh, it is 12. My favorite is, but he deserves it.
Maybe from diabetes.
Yeah, but this is why you come here. Hey, I also have some other non-diabetic things, so. Yeah. I spoiled it. I was gonna ask you if you want to go for every element of the array, what function would you use? And the answer is 4. Let's see an example. Actually, okay, that one. So there were 3 types of 4s in there. This is the one that we are used with, the 4i from 0 to a maximum. And in this situation, it adds stuff. The other option would be 4in. I don't even know if there's any point in like if you want to go through the elements in the object. This one has 3 elements and says like 4 and is defining a name. So for a property inside the object, show me something, do something. It's basically the same as this one if you would run. Actually, could you guys help me out on this one? So let's say, how do I make this 4 using the other function you just saw? So make this slightly smaller. I would like to transform this 4 to look the same as, oh, come on, let me see the other one. There you go. To look the same as this guy. Yeah. The difference that you said it.
Transform this from this.
So, okay, I'm being very confusing here. I take full blame. What property would I write here? Object dot. Yeah, that is an object.
We use 4 for the objects.
If you go for them, because objects will. If,
I thought 4 just for the arrays and it's really. Now we have just objects with.
yeah, it's a key here
Yeah, key and value.
and value, so it would work.
Okay.
That's yeah, almost everything that you use is objects. Almost.
Yeah, but I thought that we can use root 4 just for the arrays. No?
You can use it for objects. If you use it for strings, then you need to transform the string in something else, because the string is technically of length 1. And this one is the same. Says executes a loop that operates as a consequence of blah blah, and it's an instance built-in for arrays, strings, and types of arrays. Yeah, actually, yeah, it's quite interesting. Anton, can I use can I not use each one of these as okay, good question. Let's see. You're right.
Because first of all, object length is undefined. And second one, you're enumerating like from 0 to like it's just numbers. And of course, like object like with keys A, B, C, blah, 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 doesn't have keys like 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on.
That's true.
Yeah.
It doesn't have positions because it's an array.
Yeah, so better to use for in, or if you want to use this kind of a loop, there is special method object keys to create a list of keys, or like in modern JavaScript, there is a values or like pairs, get pairs, value pairs.
Is it like properties or is it different?
It's methods to. But kind of overall, if you want to iterate through object, through keys of object, for in would be your first choice. Like theoretically, yes. In practice, it's not required because like usually people are not doing such things that you have to check this for Hamel on properties.
And why was it undefined here? Like land, we have A, B, C, so we have 3 positions, right?
It's exactly what Anastasius said. It's because this was not a position. This was a property inside this object, right?
And we kind of ask about the position, right?
Yeah.
In this statement, so it can find position.
And like, kind of if we're talking about object is a box of kind of labeled things. If array is a chain of elements and they are enumerated like 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, and so on, then object is a box with unsorted but labeled things. That's why if you like want to get something from array, you ask like, please give me something with number like something X. And if you want to take something from an object, you ask like, please give me something labeled like in this example A, B, or C.
Yes, one more question is what can you give some practical advice, like when do we use in general arrays and objects? What is the difference? Like if you have list of students, it's better to use an array, right?
If so, there is a.
We actually will get there. Yeah,
I think
we actually get there
to
today.
Call Elena and use her usual phrase like it depends.
Right about here,
You're doing.
we will answer this question. Like, when should we use arrays and when should we use objects? And it depends because you can have an array of objects as well. So then you use both. Yeah. Also. Right. If you want to take something out from an array, you can, like my array right now is one number and it happens to be a string. So console, well, I am in console, right? And yeah, it takes out because it's one thing, but the other one, what was the name of the other array? Another array. The string. This will what will come out. So you can always just, if you want to take some data out of, like print everything from your array to see everything, you can make the array a string. You're basically changing it from an array to a string, and then every piece of data inside it becomes text. With join can do a little bit more stuff. And why did I close it? So you can.
Yeah, go on.
Come on, say it.
I just wanted to ask, for example, if we want to change something from that array, we're just going to write array1 equals a weird bracket, and for example, one of them is like
one.
Yeah, 1. Yeah, it would be the B, right?
Equals, yes, that would be the B. Equals 12.
And you can just change it, right? Yeah, that's.
Yeah, but what you changed was your change was permanent. So yes, you can change it.
That's why we change it.
True, and you can yeah, you just lost all your data. Haha.
Is there any other one?
No, no, that's the right way. Is there any other way? If he wants to change the data in the array?
Usually we wouldn't use a number that would.
Yeah.
Find index,
Yeah.
Find index.
Yeah. You would use this, or you would go to find by index in case you had that number, or find by whatever value you think you had there. But we can get to there. So we were under join. If I would like to get rid of, okay, so it's my array 1 right now. What was the name of it? It's array 1. What did I do? Oh. Son of a bee. Go back. So now I lost the reference. I changed pages or something. And now I want to do array1 dot join. And if based on this logic here, it says join method creates and returns a new string. So it returns a string by concatenating, which is uniting, merging every element in the array. Separated by comma. So if my array is separated by comma, it will unite it, or separated that I need to specify. Then that idement would be return without a separator. So if I click it, oh, you already see the result. If I click, if I say join right now, it will print me those A, B, C, as the array will become a string and print everything all at once. You can define your own separator, which in this case is an empty space. So it will print it like that, or you can print it like that. This helps you if you want to add people's names, for example, in the full name, last name situation, you could do this. And it comes from an array, so you're not adding two strings as I did before, where I used a plus. Yeah, and this is the way that if you, like a second ago, yeah, I was showing the find thingy or something, and you can also use include. So if this array includes, what happens if I do that? If I write B, tells me it includes. Yeah, I put B and that was like a value of sorts or variable, and it was very confused. Let's see what includes does, what other things we can do with includes. If for each.
Can we do like array 1 includes bigger or lesser than B? Possible?
To search by criteria, lesser, bigger, other things. And we always highly recommended to read this documentation on methods. And you can find that there.
That would definitely not work, because but it depends on what values, because like if I would have also my array is full of strings right now, so I cannot do any bigger than anything. But the way you want to, this is just a true or false. So if you want to like go through your whole array instead of doing any complicated things, this includes is easy to check if you already have the user, and you did use it for your homework, right? I saw that.
So include can only be used in that have string values.
No, it can be used on numbers as well. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm wondering how would it be if it's an array of objects. Dot. Find.
method in the array. Like where filter
Lost my mouse.
find the different arrays.
So how does other people do this? So I could use find, and we're looking for B.
That's the lowercase.
Probably do. So case sensitive. Huh. Something else that we could learn today.
Can I show it?
Yes, please. Yeah, of course.
Because it's actually it's a callback function, so I don't know if it's too advanced. I'll go it now. Oh, it's a Mac. Let's see if I can. Oh, it's there. Yeah. So the find method is actually. Could we find it here?
Yes, it's higher up.
Just so we can see what is the signature of this method.
That is a Mac.
Jesus,
It's very annoying.
what did I do?
Just exit. Red dot. So
So the find method returns the first element in the provided array that satisfied the provided testing function. So it will actually take a function. You'll have to pass a function to this function that gives you the element of each object in the array, and then returns it. Then you can make a function that will return the one you used. So should we try it here? If we're going to array one dot find, then we can say, let's call it an item. We want to have an item that has the value of 5. Then it will, in this does make a lot of sense. Let's make a new array here.
but the idea is that it brings you another array.
Yeah.
It just happens that this is just one value. It does not.
Oh, what did I do?
Oh, just in a different tab. It's
Okay.
highly sensitive.
So where's the curly brackets here? Yeah. And how did you do it?
Option shift.
Yeah, so we could have something with a name here, and this you could not do in with the includes. And then you can ask for, I want an item with a person called Christopher.
So this is answer to the question if you would go through an object as well. Like,
Yeah. So this one you cannot do with the includes. So
For example, if I want to 5 and I want to know the index of this.
yeah, then
Because I wanted to do this as in homework.
then you can do this. Oops, yeah, then I have to write it.
I think
Yeah, it's here. It's actually the same signature. So here will say it's index 0, and if you type something other than this, it will give you a -1
because
then it's not in the array.
Yeah.
So yeah, it actually there's a lot of methods that give you this signature.
I'm sorry, I went totally lost at the time you wrote Christopher.
Yeah.
Because you said, can you just go up a little bit?
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Yeah, no, just like all the way up.
Yeah. Ah, sorry.
Okay, let's say you said array find item name Christopher.
Yeah.
And then it just gave you Christopher.
It gave me.
Didn't help you find it. You
Yeah.
literally wrote it.
Yeah, it gave me the object. So this is an object with a name, Christopher.
Can I show them
Yeah,
another
yeah,
example?
sure.
So
Maybe give another example.
The-
Array. So I think it doesn't make a lot of sense to use this kind of.
Like we know the item, we know how it works,
Yeah.
but we just really need to see a real life example. of
Yeah.
it.
this is real life example. Imagine that instead of just having some random numbers, you would have. So he said item. Let's go to the array side because it's. Come on, one more. There you go. So item name equals Christopher. For some reason I'm still back here. So you would want every person in the group that is more than 18. And then you write item bigger than 18.
Instead to array 3, it's still on the first array.
Oops. And
Yeah, it's a filter if you want to find all. Find will all give you the first item. That
Okay.
certifies the
Yeah.
function. So change it to filter.
okay, so yeah, you're right. That
Filter will give you all the values that are satisfying the function that you are putting into the.
but it would be very useful if you go with objects. Like I did the array thing because I'm dumber than most people, but
But why did it give you 130 first time when you wrote?
it was the first one. So it goes first, is 5 bigger than 18? No. Is 12 bigger than 18? No. 8 bigger than 18? No. 130 bigger than 18? Yes.
And then find will it will stop after it finds the first value.
Yeah.
And the filter will give you all the values that satisfy it.
Because it's expecting a 1-to-1.
But before, what you have used this example about Christopher,
Yeah.
can you show it a bit up?
Yes.
I'll give you a scroll up in the console.
This one, right? So this would be awesome if you have more than one person.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's go back, Adrian, slow and steady. So I'll go and say that the next person on the list, I don't need, is
Yeah, you're changing it to Christoph.
is who asked? Nikita.
Yeah.
And now I will find, well, array 1 now has 2 people in it.
Now the first one should be Nikita. There you go.
Yeah. So and you would usually have, let's make this even more complicated because and then sport box. Was in our CV application, okay, and then can be we would not there. So yeah, now when you go to find item name is ramen, and it actually gives you the whole thing. So this is why it's useful. Yeah. So you can
just give you the full destruction.
Yeah, so the items actually showing the full array for each item, and you can make it.
Exactly, so you can see the information within that.
Yeah, which is awesome if you have a web shop, for example.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, and it's also awesome if you have your CV and you have, title of the section and then content and then some other stuff, stars and things.
For me, those are those functions I use nearly every day.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit confused about when we have used numbers. Why should we write item equals or bigger item again and equals number?
That was me being bad because I was thinking about filter, because you can also I'm gonna edit Nikita and say this is not the right way, but let's say what is your favorite? And let's say you both like chocolate and your position 1. Come on, man. Let me move faster. Right.
Yeah, the
Ah.
original want to leave me alone.
I'm sorry, Nikita. I just changed everything about you. And so we'll go back. So if you say that chocolate and yeah, this would be
Yeah, but it can find you who loves chocolate.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I understood. But did you got what I asked you?
okay.
Before you have show it how it works on numbers,
Yes.
and you type it, we have to find in round brackets, item equals bigger
Then
item again and equals number.
Why
Why should we type?
name and you can call it number as well.
Yeah, but why should we type item 2 times?
I think that
Yeah, go up.
it requires a little bit of explanation.
was it that one?
Yeah, that, why should we type item equals bigger item again?
This is not equals bigger. I'm sorry. This means it's a function.
Could you please maybe
It's
clarify
like- it's just that way.
the function instead of this lambda?
Yes.
just a function?
Yes. Function item there
I actually have a proposal.
And
and
Can we get like cheat sheets of these codes? Because if we
Return
want to
is-
find it, yeah, exactly. Yeah, we want to find it
right.
ourselves, like.
Here.
you say return and comparison.
Yeah.
You have sequence to swap them.
Sorry. Yes.
And return item equals. No, it should work. It should work. It's red to. I think it's works. It should work.
This is just for guided.
That's also true, but
Alright.
Yeah, so we just about. So that magic syntax is equivalent to it's just a shorthand for this like more formal and fuller syntax like this. So
Yeah.
we just create a function that decides if we want to pick this object or pick this item from array or not. And with all these like equal and greater signs, it's like just like another way of writing the same statement.
I think instead of item, we can also call it number to discuss the name.
so it was just a naming convention, but the equal bigger one just says that you have a. Okay, we're going back here. Yeah, we're gonna have a small break in 20-ish minutes, unfortunately. Right, one more time. So it says that you have a parameter that you give it in, which is called item. And then this means function. My Visual Studio Code is recognizing it as. No, so it says that I have a parameter which has a name called item. Yes, and then this means a function. This is this word, yeah. This is awkward. Yeah, I have to get a package now. Sad. And then the function itself and with the return statement. It's just a tertiary shortcut. Oh la la. Yeah, yes, but let's 1 second. Let's finish this Notion thing. And you're right. Actually, we finished Notion thing. we've unintentionally went through this exercise, more or less, and you will have a short break, I would say, because the food is not here. So 7 minutes, that's 1:40. Then we go through this exercise, then we eat, and then we continue with objects. Please drink water. I will. Man. Yeah, the other guy, Sphere. Is that one? They are? I got a really interesting question in the break from the man who doesn't want to have one of these.
You don't want to share your screen, so we're recording your screen.
But it is shared. I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong. Oh no! Did
yeah.
you? Oh
I'm
no.
afraid. Yeah.
Well.
But I just thought maybe the codes would be nice if you share, and then
Yes.
So that's the thing.
Where is it? So.
There. Yeah.
Oh, this is so stupid of me. So I recorded nothing.
But sound.
Yeah. So the question was, what happens with?
Yeah, but I'm not sure which one.
Not here.
But which?
It would be desktop 2.
Can you say the question, but say it slowly so I can write it?
If you have an object and you want to call its property, you could call it with dot whatever property name it has. Oh, guys, this is why it's not. It's the wrong tab. It is recording, is it?
It's recording, but it's not showing your screen. It's,
screen sharing. Try again. Sure. Open to grant access. Grant access to whom? To Zoom? Zoom. Grant access. It's about this thing. So you have a cat who has a name, an age, and does she love me? Does the cat love me? Yes. And if you want to call, for example, her name, you would go cat and name like this, or cat.name like this. And you would see the name of the cat. What would happen? You would see the name of the cat. If you call cat with name without the quotation marks, this would not work because your JavaScript will think that this name thing is a variable. It's a parameter of source somewhere. So on this side, the things which are on the left side are more or less strings from a point of view. While when you would call them with brackets, you would need to call them with strings because it's a name of something. This is the name of a property. But if you call it as like this, the value inside name is it's expecting to have a value inside name without the quotation marks. So it's going to give you undefined because it goes through the entire code and says like, where did you define this value called name? Were you meant to ask this thing? So the key takeaway is that you can call a property with.
I'm so sorry.
That's good.
I don't know how to work the Mac.
I think this would be good.
But I can't get it to share this one. It looks like, you know, it thinks it's sharing.
Just use OBS Studio. It's easier.
Yeah, well, we have Zoom, okay?
It's not sharing on the Zoom. Oh, great.
It should work. Yes. Right. That was the key takeaway number one, that you can call an object property either with brackets, which is what I would call the array way, because yeah, or with a property name. And when you just see the thing, the problem with property name, which is my favorite way, is that if you have a property which is more than one thing, like love meat, then you cannot. You cannot call a property name that is a string. And you need to be, so it's the computer is JavaScript is kind of processing. You say cat.name, it goes like, okay, .name is a property of this thing. What's inside there? If you do cat / love meat, cat goes love meat, it's like love meat is already a value. I don't know how to get value of a value. So it gets a bit very confused, and as you probably are right now, this is how JavaScript feels. And if you insist on having a string for a property, you go back to the good old bracket. Yeah, and you can be as creative as you want. It's just a bit of bad practice. The reason why it's bad practice is that you get this data from somewhere, or you're trying to create a table with it, and yeah, if you need more than one word, it's not a good idea. If you need more than one word, for example, love meat, you would use camel case, kebab case, and you would make it one word. So LOVE, capital MEA. Yeah. So this is how you say like, hey, you know, I still want to express my independence and I want to do my things.
Can I use the property in the object without value?
In case you have like name, age, and true.
Without yeah.
No, what? So you can put undefined there. So the property would be present, but it should be kind of nothing.
Yeah.
But overall, it should be kind of, it should be or not to be. So like there is no this state in the middle when there is property name is defined or but without any value.
Is it no any all of the keys for the string like default?
Say it again,
Like
please.
it's, all keys are string by default.
I say string, but they're not string. All keys are that format thingy. It's easy to think about it as a string because then this makes a bit more sense. But this makes a bit more sense. If you put it without the quotation marks, it literally needs it's bad choice. Like if this was not named, I wouldn't feel so bad. But it needs a name for your property. Because like, what is my property called? And this does not provide it with a name. This provides it with the value that it's inside that variable. So you could be mean and put here const name equals a string called name, and then you kind of get over this problem. But it's an extra line that you would write, makes your code more. Then something that I actually don't see. Next one is about adding and removing properties, because I think you already thought about like, what if I have a cat and it likes meat, it has a name, but I also want to know who the owner is. Like I have 20 cats. You can add a property, and you can add it in very simple way. You just dot whatever you want, or you square brackets something there, and this object from now on has the property. And if you want to delete that specific property, let's say you don't no longer care about this cat's age, you can delete it. There are some use cases, but in normal situations, you don't need to delete things. And if you do need to delete, you just go delete property object in Google and you find exactly this.
Can I add the function?
Okay.
Can I add the function?
Yeah, I guess you could. It means something exactly like this one here, like sing. Yeah, you would, because you'll put yeah, doctor.age equals function, and then the function there. I guess that would make sense in case you had the full name thing, and you have like a first name, second name, and then a doctor full name, and then you had a function which adds it. Should I write that? I think it makes sense. Yeah, okay. I got people saying I should write that. Yeah. Doctor first, I understand that that's first name. Then fam. Oh yeah. Yeah. Also remember that it works with the dots, not with Johnson. And then you would go full name, and then function return first. This is literally this dot first plus this dot fam. So yeah, I guess there would be like a tough crowd today. And I also should probably, if I'm being completely fair, I should also do this. And then close the fellow, copy paste it just so I don't have to write it again. And name is a function. Yeah, you would get something very weird, but then you can call, you know, when you need it, you will call doctor dot full name, and then you would get yeah, we get that weird thing. Oh yeah, I need to call with sorry, I lost my screen. Where's the X to get out? Environment sources, console. Oops. Nope. Nope, come on, go away. Yay, finally. So yeah, but it's probably, you would definitely find some use cases for it. Create an array of your classmates. Imagine each classmate is an object. You can write it down on your, we should do this together. So we all get a laugh out of it, and we will only do 3 people. So class equals, first we define it. That's true. Classmates equals an array. Now it's an empty array. Then classmates dot push. It says create an array. Imagine each one is an object. So then we push an object in. Name. Christian. And I won't type more because I'm I wonder if I just leave it like that, what will happen? Okay, so now we have one, and then we will do the same. Marwa. Marwa. Yeah.
Finish with the.
One.
Yes.
Should I edit it?
You have to write R. Marwan.
Okay. Okay. Classmate. First. Equals name ma.
Yes.
Okay. I kind of get the point. Let's do two more. Okay. Anna? Like that? There you go. Write down either in your notebook. Yeah, and what will you see at the end of it? Yeah. Or objects. Inside the object, when I open this array, my objects just show up as name Tigran, or just like, yeah. I meant to say something very stupid. I wanted to say that it will say in your console thing that it's an object, because it's, yeah, if you go on type of, this will appear as an object, even if it has just one single property. Say it louder. Come on.
Okay, why is it 4?
It is 4 because it's 4 people.
1, 2, 3.
Length 4.
Because there are 4 numbers.
Yes.
0, 1.
It's length.
Yes.
Cool. So students function. This is the extra function. Add student. I should have left you to do it. Well, you get the next one. Because you need to make an array anyways. How to check if an object is empty?
So look, object.
Welcome to my.
Everybody. So this was a thing that you guys actually asked much earlier, or somebody asked at least. Because if with array you just put a dot length and then you see if the length is 0, then yeah. With an object is a bit more tricky because you need to go through the keys and see if it has any keys, and yeah. Oh, I feel like I shouldn't go this way. The way I would have thought about it is with a for loop, you go inside it and check if it has anything in it, and then you would return false. So you would literally have to write a function for it.
For example, we include the method like a function.
Yeah.
Without declaring a function. So case of value with free or not? Or object case. So we show the method.
So object keys returns
Keys,
a list of keys
Yes.
in the object. So list of labels for the things that are present in the object.
Yes.
This also includes functions,
Okay.
at least if they are declared in the way as in our previous example. A lot of other JavaScript magic that should be discussed and like shown like in next lessons, and because there is ways to hide it. But normally it should also show you the function.
Yeah. And another way that is easy is that if you transfer if it's empty, if you're expecting it to be empty, you would transform it in a string. This is actually 10 times smarter than what I would have thought. And if your string is empty, then it's obviously, empty. Well, it wouldn't be empty because it has a curly brace, the curly braces for that. And this part, you don't care, these last. JSON means JavaScript, object, something. Yeah. It's these things that we've been looking at. All right. I don't want to confuse you too much. So let's go for exercise 1, and then we have a chance to actually explain stuff. This should be another fast exercise. Create a valuable cat name with braces. Yeah, and get the property name of this cat. That one. Yeah, you copy this fellow, and then you call, you try to find the cat's name using this notation.
Okay. So it's means
it has only one object in it, so it estimates.
Yeah, that's like
Good.
you are defining the configuration of this. You're defining this, like this cat loves me.
Yeah, but you have to put that.
No, that's the time when you want to put this in here. You want to put it here.
Yes,
There. See?
but you never should use two words.
Yeah, but that's different, right? That's different. That's you are trying to give some information about the cat. You're not trying to call it what it is. Exactly. That's information you could give.
Yeah, and what was
Yeah. It was. Like that.
This actually might be just as a simple bracket version. But I think it's
that's better because
Yeah, but that's what you're saying is one here.
yeah, exactly. That's the only thing that was
yeah,
more.
quotation.
Yeah.
Cat love means cat name undefined. Do you know why?
And then, yeah, we did it now.
Yeah, if you I'll ask afterwards. You wanna be in front? If you finished already, feel free to go to exercise 2. It's also very simple. It asks you to create an object. So the object has these properties and try.
Yeah. Doesn't matter, yeah. That's cool. It's a string because it's a big rows. It's a string of characters. And now we do only the strings now. But
Because we have it here.
yes. Now it works. Yeah. No, that's it's defined. It's defined. That's just like that's a common one.
You want to
Those
see?
are.
What is that?
Go on.
Like that, and then inside of it, name.
No, it's not. It's not the same.
This is the same that we do the other way.
Yeah, so basically this.
Yeah, it's a trick. This is have an object.
Yeah.
So the album itself is an object.
Great question. Like, imagine it's an array, but instead of numbers, it's a string.
But this is referring to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You would use this if you do not know what is keyboard. So you just pick a and the reason why the love work here, but then you can write some corrections. Space doesn't work, right? Like this. Like this. This will work. Or like another string. We also work. If you want to.
Oh, damn it! What did I do? I put a.
Object key is H and then together object key. I don't think that will work. That won't work. Yeah, it's always fine. There's no such key.
Man,
Object
go
key.
away.
So there is.
Let me
such
type.
key as H. So when you
Awesome
do
thing.
this,
Object key.
It's taking the name of the variable. It keeps taking the value.
Name, two dots.
Name dot.
So here it looks like. Is there anything? No. Does it have a key?
Right.
That is called object key? Because
No, but it does have an H.
but here looks like this cat have a key that is the value of object key, which is H. It does. So you can see.
So
So cat of the value of the object key equals equals.
that is correct. Albums, that is correct.
So what do you think this is?
Did I?
To the H.
Yeah. And how would you get that?
This one.
Equal.
Oh. Come on. Thank you. Okay.
No.
No, because it's not. Okay.
Yeah, but does the cat has that? Okay, let me say. It's
Enter.
like,
It just replaces this with this value.
because like here we said object key equals H. And here it asks, does cat have anything, any word that equals to the object value?
Oh, what's
Yes.
going on?
So it replaces this with this.
Relationship and object. So this is an array.
But you don't need to write it
This is
like
an
this.
array.
You write it like this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, right.
This is an array.
Here, let's do this. But capital
Okay.
object key
Hey, Anton,
would be the same thing as like, what is this?
what am I doing wrong? Do you think that there is this?
Yeah, if you were to.
Albums. This is not needed. But it looks like that it should be like, probably.
This is correct. The reason why it's correct. is because you understand it.
Yeah, that's right. I don't see any. Maybe you have a problem somewhere about. I could, yeah. Won't be the first thing. Like favorite band. Because like browser is not the best idea. Yeah, and I thought about using CodePen, but then I saw that CodePen has its own styling and stuff. Yeah. So okay, yeah, George. Yeah. Go away. Go away. Do you have do you drive? Do you have a car? Don't you carry? I have a car. I was wondering how long does it take you from Horse's office, but I guess I could just do this. I think it's like 60 kilometers, and the rest of the way is like highway, so you can drive 130. So probably something like 40 minutes, maybe an hour. Because the bus is currently in Portsmouth, so I can actually see when they leave. I can always remember buses goes 20 under. Yeah, something like an hour, because I used to go the bus to Bill and yeah, I like that one.
I don't know. I don't remember if it goes to pause. Yeah,
No.
probably it goes.
No, it goes, doesn't, not like this.
So think about.
I don't know. I'm always confused. Force and spanning.
I think that it like I definitely remember that it goes through Scannerbar, but I don't. Yeah, but I don't know if it goes right before horses or after horses. No, just like starting the window.
You got private electricity, internet, tea, coffee if you want.
Yeah, then I'm just drinking coffee and staring the window.
Very romantic.
Like 2 fingers on the wall socket to charge. That's one
Lucky life. There's one point in the net where it says like create albums. This is what is referring to create album, and there's an object in albums with a name in it.
What does it say next? What notation do you have to use? In the graphic notation.
Yes. Yeah, inside the list there's an object. Yeah.
Yeah, this is equal to this.
Okay, this is the name of the cat. Okay. To the cat. For the cat. So.
So this is cat.
Well, in front of the brackets.
Yeah, like this.
Exactly. There you go. Cool. Copy the cat object into the file. Copy this into the file.
We have done.
I have it.
No, that's
No, we exactly.
Oh, we're with it. Yeah, and then copy out what I'm on this guy. Sorry.
Yes, you don't look like a Windows user. You look like somebody who used to be a Windows user.
Yeah, to be honest, the last time I've seen Windows was or used probably 2000 library. Student exercise.
Call it.
Let's see what the but I think you're done because the you have a string. This is the whole idea.
Basically, you have to call when you call a function with brackets, not brackets.
No.
I should put it outside.
That's the cat.
It's not a variable.
Exactly.
That's the album is not a variable. It's a property.
You're right.
No, it doesn't take any parameters.
It's a property of the type of it.
And we log out.
The property is the type of whatever you like. So this one is straight. This one's around there, this one's the ones on the left side,
That's why
they have the type of whatever is inside. They kind of like if tomorrow you get annoyed and you don't want to calls and put another one, then it becomes enough.
But I need also to change this, right?
The number represents a year minus the. Yeah, that's.
Just to an easy, like you can just use access. This brackets.
Since it's one word, it will whatever. You will ignore the bracket sign. It works both ways.
Really hard. And now it's black. Actually, it was white before. So now the color has changed. You can, but the same. If you let's say that you want to change it afterwards, after you click
It's two. You call it for Harry.
Yeah.
You just like cat.
Yeah.
This is a JavaScript page. You have all the functions here, all the objects, all the and he's in your database, he's in your application. One of these functions has a and you want it so that when he goes into your application and it was birthday, now his age is plus one. How do you do that? You can't run again. No, you actually don't. You just say override, change such. Now if you let's say your cat is a little old and now he has gray hair. It always makes sense. So it's really sad. Change something after you have created the cat.
So we give the array name.
Like this and then it goes inside. Yeah. The moment it's used, but it's not the function. Override. You can have any backslash. Yes, and you got it.
You just open a bracket, put the number.
No,
Like this?
But you can do it.
no. That color, you can't color is the variable. So you have to give the new value. How do you do that? You give variable new value. You can call blue here, but blue is a why? Parameter, but everything that is inside. How is the variable? Let A is what's here? If you have a variable, yeah, A is how do you write
Double, double, que that's what it's like.
That's what he did. That's what he did. I'll find an example on my. The kind of object. You know what this?
You can just go copy to this. Just copy.
Yeah, that's true.
Will not work.
Did it just say meow?
What's the color at the end? That's it.
Yes.
That's what they always say. The machine only does what you get. So if something is made, it will get the game.
Like you say magic, when you're like, it's not magic, it's like I told me to do that.
Okay, now, what part of this is?
Even this one.
Hey, could you, Manwar was asking like, why did I use this inside the function and I'm trying to explain that it's because it's the property inside the function, something that exists only here. But I cannot do better than that.
Should we? I think it's an example.
Where this function is.
I know, but that's, there's some people that are doing exercise that don't like this one. You will. I mean, nobody does. The thing is, since it's so loose, like you said, like, because it has to be like this. That's why it's able to create this web page that do whatever you want. Because there's no limitation. You can only use the data something else. Trace on what do you do?
That's one of the.
That's not just. Come on, you would.
Look. Yeah, just. It's not for Alex. And then
This time put into this forward. Startup name of juicy organization. I was reading this forward. And I saw juicy organization.
The poker is not the one like don't pick up the poker.
The one with the flash like. Put it up.
It will come up.
Juicy.
No.
Moist. We'll show you a good time. For the pull request.
Oh, the comments?
Yeah. So the comment. It's right there. It's right there. Yes. Pull request. Close my process.
Oh no, this is the.
Wait, is
Pointer to window. It's choose name, that's like juicy. I didn't have name, but the code is easy, right? And I put a lot of comments there. Because I did every time I wrote a code, I did
stats.
So, I would like to show you two things that I've seen, and it's about the exercise number 2, actually. Have everybody managed to get through the first one? Yes. Then the next step is this fellow here, which is a very long object. The idea is that it has a couple of tricks into this exercise. Name is a string. Nationality is a string. Gender is a string. Members is an array. Form is a number. So this is those are strings, and members is an array, and then form is a number, and then the other fellow is split, which is a Boolean. What would I put if it's a Boolean? I could put true. Yeah. It's written split. It's obviously written split. Just true. Then the funny part comes on albums, which is an array of objects. So it would be an array, and then you would have an object with name, release, which is a number. That's a perfect year. And then you would have like another one of these, another object, and the same things inside it. It says include at least 2 albums, because the trick comes when you want to deal with each one of these albums. So I will write this here. Let's save this, because I have a tendency to ruin things. So I have no errors. That makes me feel very good. It doesn't happen too often. Right. Enter, save it. Nope. Enter, save it. First. Yeah. Let's go to another thingy. Inspect. Console. Click. So favorite band, and I get all of this one. That was the first part of the exercise. Then the second part of the exercise is that tricky. There's 2 tricks, 2 awesome things that I think you would like. How, and I need someone's help. I want to write the name of their first album. How would I go to it? As you can see the structure of it.
Bands.albums.
Album.
Square brackets.
Yeah, why square brackets?
It's an array.
Because it's an array. Who wants the order? Right. Then I put the square brackets. I said the first one, so it's 0. And then dot name. So I was busted already. The idea is that you can have several objects, and it's an array of objects, so you have to treat it as an array. In day-to-day activities, you would use a for loop, because yeah, you might know, because you will go favorite band.albums.length. You find out how many of them, and then you can do some other way. But the normal way would be for each favorite band.albums, do something. Right, and then the other tricky thing, which I found very tricky, is the last line. Bonus, create a variable called band info, which is a string that describes your favorite band. You can either use concatenation or string interpolation. So my band doesn't do much these days. They hit a dry spell. So let there be a band info equals. How would I write this? Because I want to say that band name, band name. Then I want to say this is a text from me. So band name, that's a variable, is awesome. Because okay, this was part of the same thing because it's also text that is not part of my object. Because and then I put album name, album name. The first question is, this is a variable. We already decided that this will be favorite bands. I should just have done this from the beginning. Favorite bands dot name and this guy is the second one. But how do I unite them? How do I make this whole string be one thing? What do I write? First brackets on here. It's very explicit.
Not just round brackets.
Round brackets. So round brackets, is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So this would be like a console log thing, yes. But what's inside the brackets? This one? No. Yeah, that's true. That is $1 here. If we go in with that thing. True. Backtick. Yeah, that was the cool thing that I was hoping you guys will say. So is this weird shit? The other one. Yeah, and then I don't need this anymore. I don't need this anymore. There was a song with I don't need this anymore. And then $, again, and then this one. Yeah. And then going back, this guy, and here we go. Nope, that way one. What is this one? Okay. Yeah, all right. Well, that was it. Is it that one? Oh, let me know. Is it the other way? Did I put it the wrong way? Yeah, it's the wrong way.
Maybe around brackets and plus, and then is awesome because in like quote marks.
Okay, so a plus here. Plus here, and then this must be a quote because then this is separate.
Round brackets, would it work?
Round?
If you put all of this in round brackets, would it work?
Yeah, it will.
The reason it will work is because it's inside a console log, so it's treating it as I think it should totally. Yeah, right now there isn't because I'm making it a variable. So yeah. What am I doing wrong?
There's no console log.
But
I think the longest situation in this case is that you are liking band without a name.
Yes, figured out. Okay, so it was perfect. That was my problem. I was going desperate here. Yeah, but that was one way. Then the other way would have been to concatenate it, which you could have done with a plus sign, which I would have thought that everybody would have done it that way. To be completely honest with you guys. So it would have been this plus that. Does it make sense? So this is actually how I thought that people might think about it as the clearer solution, but the way you just showed me is the better solution. So this would also, I think this would work. Am I wrong? It's gonna give me the same bad thing because the other one, this one, because I don't have a thing. The object is band info. Oh, it's band, right? Favorite band. So I gave it no name, my fault. Bad data, not the programmer. Then I gave it no name here, and I'm trying to show something. Yeah, but the whole idea of this last thing was that you can, yeah. Is it a break or do you want to continue?
Then let's have a 7 minutes break.
Yeah. A few minutes break, and then Anton will save my life again.
Hopefully it's not so important, dangerous for your life.
Do you like Oreos? Do you like Oreos?
Probably no, especially after that.
I have a last minute exercise, which, based on popular vote, I have to donate this to someone in the class because this was supposed to be my thank you towards you for helping me do this. So they already have one.
You can give it to me. She was eyeing the Oreos all the time. Give it to her.
That was.
No.
You're talking about yourself.
No, it's not like one of my friends.
But I
Give
would
me
like
some.
one. And if you have one. You want some? Oh.
There you go. Everybody's happy.
Why do you like
Carrots?
Carrot?
Hey, you know.
After I have a
By the way, the
6:30 it's supposed to be delivered. It's being delivered at 3:45. It's quite a long.
Yes, yeah, but I'm fighting with this Zoom.
I'm still recording.
I will send you
But
the.
I need to connect
I
to
need
that.
some volunteers. Who's got, you know, we have an exam for the last part of this course.
F1.
We should
Are you sending
create
me
one,
the
Oh, yeah, I am.
a website. I have a really great idea. What if we
Which
create
one?
a
It's
chatbot
mixed,
that
probably.
translates
No,
the
it's
words
not this one,
to
it's
the
that
foreign
Anton.
languages? Like, for example, you guys, you speak Ukrainian.
It's me.
I speak, let's
It's so
say,
funny that
Kurdish.
it's not online.
You don't understand Kurdish, I don't understand Ukrainian. The chatbot will be like this. I write you in Kurdish, but when I send it to you, it turns it to Ukrainian. And when you write Ukrainian and send it to me, it turns
Unfortunately.
it to Kurdish. I checked it out, it's
And
really easy.
I'll forward it to Rene.
No, it's me. No. Yeah, okay, got it. So it should,
You're showing the right thing,
yes.
but maybe you should be recording as well. Yes. More. Record. Yes. Do that.
It should be not.
Yes. There you go.
Yes.
Who won the sticker, like the emoji?
I think
Like she has
Should be.
used my brain.
yeah.
For a week.
Because you guys are not.
My sticker is the first.
You didn't do it, right?
Yeah. If you know what to do, please.
Yeah, but I can't figure out the Mac shit. It's I can't even push it. Yeah, this one. Yes, you're recording. Great. Just go ahead.
I voted for the guy that.
Okay. Okay, so the last part for today is kind of bit theoretical, let's call, and it in this part I would like talk about functions a little bit more. So overall, all of you have already used functions or seen functions, or like all within your homework, or like you have seen these things during our today's exercises. So overall, you know that there is a functions in JavaScript. It's like it's not a new thing. And let's see several examples. I just pick some example from our course, and let's see. We have a lot of functions and we are calling them. Let's talk about like what are the main parts of kind of what are the main things you have to do to use function. First one is kind of you need to have a function. You need to have function. You need to create it. You need to declare it or define it. And as we already discussed, it looks like something like this. So you just do function, name, arguments, and body of the function. What would happen if we just do something? Should I increase the font, or do you see anything here? So what would be if we just do function, like our previous task was about cats, so what would be outcome of this thing?
Undefined.
No, it's like it's browser magic, but overall,
Yeah.
no, that's the question. We only declared the function.
Because you didn't return.
Yes, exactly. So where is Oreo? But overall, the idea that when we are declaring the function, we just declaring it. So we have like, I don't know, if we want to have a tool, we go to the workshop and buy screwdriver. So it's an example of this case. Now we have this screwdriver or function and we can use it. Everything is pretty simple. And now we want actually to use it. So we are doing like this. And there should be something printed, but it's not printed. I don't know why. Because it should be printed here.
It works without semicolons.
Yes, or at least it should. Oh, I see where it printed. So it just hides the output. So overall, if we're talking about functions, we have two parts, like function declaration or definition, and actually in the call of the function or invocation of the function, it's like you can use any words to declare this. Let's return back to our example. First of all, let's, for example, take a look at this function. What can we see from this part of the code?
This function calls another function.
Yes, exactly. So function is kind of just a piece of code that can use another functions. So it's just a normal piece of code, and as a normal piece of code, it can use another function. So it means it might call another functions, kind of delegating part of work to like another function. In this case, we have a function called buy vegetables, and like the main part of this buy vegetables is buy carrots. That's kind of several facts that we have. Let's go further and think. It happens that functions can call functions, and so on. And there is another part of the story that we can call one function, then we can call another function, then we can call yet another function. So let's think how to visualize all this story. Overall, if we're thinking about visualization or about how we think about this situation, we need to talk about kind of thing called stack. It's a like well-known data structure in all programming language, and concept of this thing is really simple. Like imagine that we have like it's basically kind of thought as a kind of pyramid or stack of plates or something like this. It's like one thing, another thing, like so there is one thing, there is another thing, third thing. So it's just a pile of things, one on top of another. And there is basically two operations with the stack that can be done. Push something in the stack, so it's put something at the top, so it's push, and pop when we want to remove it. And it's not surprising that you have seen the same words while you were using arrays, because array is kind of implementation of stack, let's call it. We have array with something, and we can put something to the end of this array and pick something from the end of the array. So if we're talking, it's like both logically and implementation wise. So inside the JavaScript and all other languages, all these nested function calls, they are implemented using stack. So overall, let's see. Let me try to illustrate this on the very first on example. For example, this get groceries call. Let's go through code. We have a function get groceries. This function calls buy vegetables. If we go to buy vegetables function, we see that it just does buy carrots. So it's like kind of a chain of calls. Let's try to draw this thing. First of all, we can draw this, let's call it kind of base. It's our starting point, it's our all our code. We can think it as a basement for this story. Then we are calling get groceries method. Let's draw it, get groceries. So then, like this, then we are calling buy vegetables. Okay, let's put another thing here, buy vegetables.
And again, once more, we are just adding by carrots. Then how it works, if we're talking about functions, then by carrots does its job and returns to the by vegetables function. It might contain some result, I don't know, if it would be return like carrot, I don't know, carrot. It doesn't matter, but it still returns back to by vegetables function. And by vegetables function can use result of this by carrots or ignore it. It's up to like what we want to do. Then by vegetables returns back to like get groceries, and finally when get groceries finish its job, it returns back to the kind of the beginning of the program. And when program runs to its end, okay, it's like done, nothing left to do. Kind of like this. Let's think a little bit about like full example, because we have several other calls. So at first, so in this case, I just draw this call to get groceries. But before call to get groceries, we are doing pick up kids, where it just does nothing or almost nothing. It just console logs. So we have like pick up kids. So like from the main program, we go to pick up kids, do the job over here. In our case, this job is just to console log something and return back. And then the last part of this our program is just last call do work. It's like empty, so like we discussed like several minutes ago who is the laziest person in this class, and probably it's working day of the laziest person. Do work. So let us think, like, go through this drawing once again, and like just it's like the way how like you can think about programs. So we are starting. So it's like our beginning of the program. It's and it's the end of our program. Like let's begin and end. So we are entering the program, go to pick up kids, do the job, return back to the main program. Then we go to like the next step. It's get groceries. So we are going to get groceries. Get groceries uses by vegetables. So we are going to buy vegetables. Buy vegetables, so then uses by carrots. We go to buy carrots, and then I'm returning back. So overall, you can visualize your program as this kind of, I don't know, Egypt with pyramids of all these kind of function calls. And kind of that's one part of the story. Another part of the story that sometimes there is special functions that throws you out of this picture. For example, let's think of this following way. We cannot, in this scenario, we cannot get to do work method until we're done with get groceries. So it's just sequential steps. There is several things in JavaScript that kind of makes you kind of unblocking background work. So for example, we can like just start something over here, and it will do the job, but we are not waiting. Let me show you example of this thing. Let's have function like function f1. It's not hard to guess that it's just the first function. Let's have function f2. And let's have a function f3. So we have these things, and let's play. So let's write the program we call f1, f2, and f3. Normally I would write them at different lines, but it's like a browser, it's not IDE, so it's not super convenient. So, everything is fair enough. We call three functions. They are executed in order. Let's do a weird thing. You see the difference?
Change the order.
Yes. So with at the very beginning, we have just this three sequential calls. Now we have pretty strange thing that F1 and F3 are executed in the order, and F2 is kind of thrown away from this list of functions. And kind of overall idea of whole this story for you is not to be confused about use cases of functions. Sometimes they are not executed in order or in line as it declared or as it's called. Sometimes it might be delayed. For example, there is another story is when you are subscribing on clicks to something on the page. I suppose that part of you already played with browser tooling, and you can attach function to a click on the button. And in this case, this function won't be executed in line as F1, F2, F3. It would be executed somewhere out of this story later when you click on the button.
Based on some condition.
Yes, yeah. And in this, for example, this example is, in this example, our condition is after 1 second. So 1000 in JavaScript, time is measured in milliseconds. So 1000 milliseconds is just 1 second. And that's why F1, F3, and after a second, F2.
But if you change it in negative, for example, minus 1000, it appears plus.
No, unfortunately, browsers doesn't contain a time machine. As far as I remember, implementation of this set timeout function, -1 means immediately right now. There is several more details. I don't want to dive deep into this, but it also makes it out of order, even if you do with -1, for example. Yeah, but you see, it printed this F2 almost immediately. And let me illustrate with, for example, 10 seconds, just to F1, F2, and 1, 2, 3, 4,
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There should be F2. Unfortunately, I'm not precise clock. So kind of that's all. There is a link in all these homeworks that shows you, that draws all these things that I draw on on the whiteboard. Again, we can, so let's take a look at this code base. There is plan trip function, and it's like main thing that does the job. Plan trip consists of several steps: book tickets, book hotel, and console log that the job is done. Book tickets, it's like reserve vacation, blah, blah, blah. So it's like this, all these steps required to book vacation. And we can like rerun it, and you see how it works. I would recommend you just to play with this thing at home. And so where is it? We have these materials. It's our usual repository with the JavaScript JavaScript 1 week 3, and there is like this call stack thing, and there is how to visualize it. It's kind of more or less theoretical part of the course. That's why no exercise, but if you have questions, you're welcome.
No exercise?
There is no exercise for it.
There is homework, don't worry.
At least let me be happy for once.
So what is like, what is the
Like,
basic one function inside another, like, if you,
It's just a normal code that it just works like that. So usually you split your code into small pieces, and of course, like one piece use another piece, another piece use third piece, and so on.
but it's like, in this example, we just use in each function, like the same connection with other function, but usually maybe it's like using previous function, but add something new, or just remove the first one, like by carrots. Let's say, why can't we just like say by carrots, but put it inside.
Oh, it's just a bad example. Usually you have something. So Не, это просто типа не очень хороший пример, и сама по себе тема, она сложная. Поэтому...
Я поняла, в гроз происходит одно, второе,
Да, то есть вот по ступенькам пирамидки.
So who's going downwards? The train, because they all train are all like. That's funny crazy. Going down. You're going down. Yeah.